Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gendera. I'm Geraldine, and tonight we're going to be watching a recording that Dr. Fizz did a couple of years ago now on the Sisel SupraOmega. Dr. Curt Ficenec is a 4-star master with Sisel and a Doctor of Chiropractic for over 40 years, and he's been practicing alternative and longevity medicine for over 20 years. So he is an absolute wealth of information, and we are going to get to have a chance to listen to him tonight share all about the SupraOmega. So let's get started.
I like to have people come back to me and say, Doc, you know that problem that I was having? It's gone. I'm doing better. I'm healthier. This last week, I had some friends over here at the house for most of the week, and they were just telling me how much healthier they feel, because they're following some of the recommendations that I've made. SupraOmega goes on basically the top of the list as far as products, as far as I'm concerned. There's 20,000 published studies on the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids. As researchers continue to discover the new longevity mechanisms that work with omega, it reduces brain shrinkage, it protects memory, it improves the endothelial function. And they're just finding new stuff all the time. Emerging evidence suggests that omega-3s from fish oil, as well as krill oil, provide complementary effects on different cellular targets in the body. Plus, they found that the uptake of those omega-3s occurs at different rates depending on the destination. So intriguing data suggests that combining fish and krill oil provides an enhanced support for the cardiovascular system, nervous system, including the brain. It helps with red blood cells, and they found that the omega-3s from krill are more rapidly incorporated into the red blood cell phospholipids. And then when it gets into these phospholipids, the DHA from the phospholipid is carried to the brain really quickly. The standard American diet is really high in omega-6s. And a lot of people who are health conscious, they try and reduce this type of fat. But we've seen this new ketogenic diet popping up. A lot of people are eating fats. They're saying that it's so much more healthy for them. And I would agree that a more ketogenic lifestyle is healthier, but you have to be smart about it. There's an excess of omega-6 fats in our diet. Vegetable oils such as corn, safflower, soybean oil, as well as fats from poultry and eggs, contains a fat called omega-6. I was looking at a chart just a week or so ago, and it showed that if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you eat a meal of sweet and sour chicken, it has 30,000 milligrams of omega-6. If you have French fries at a typical restaurant here in the United States, 20,000 milligrams of omega-6. And that needs to be balanced out, and we'll talk about that. But not all omega-6s are bad. There's one omega-6 that's called gamma-linoleic acid. GLA is what they shortened it for. And they found that it helps with inflammation, eczema, dermatitis, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, atherosclerosis, diabetes, obesity. They even found that some studies suggest that this GLA, which is an omega-6, will even help with cancer. So the answer is balance. We need to balance out these fats. We need to make sure that our fats are balanced out each and every day. So people say to me, well, I already take a krill oil. I already take fish oil. Well, they're similar, but they found that the omega-3 from fish oil helps with cardiovascular system. So atherosclerosis is caused by chronic low-grade inflammation. Omega-6 causes inflammation, so we can basically say that omega-3 helps with that. GLA, another omega-6, seems to help, but the enzyme seems to decline with age. So maybe this delta-6 desaturase, this enzyme, because of its decline, maybe that's the problem. So maybe we need to increase the GLA. In any case, we need to shift the system to more of a natural, non-inflamed state. So what's in omega-3s? What's so important about it? Omega-3 contains something called EPA-DHA. They're well known to provide systemic benefit and reduce the risk of early death. DHA is vital for the brain. It's a fat that goes directly to the brain, where EPA seems to be more related to behavior and mood and inflammation. But together, both these molecules provide critical neuroprotective benefits. It's important for the prevention of age-related diseases like brain shrinkage, which is called cortical atrophy. People that have this cortical atrophy often have memory loss, cognitive decline, and an increase in depression. Folks, when you're talking to the elderly people, you'll find that they have these things. Maybe all you need to do is get them to take a fish oil capsule, SupraOmega PLUS. So people that take higher levels of omega-3 fats show that they have better cognitive outcome, the larger gray matter for their brain, and fewer signs of brain blood flow disturbances. Say that fast 4 times, brain blood flow disturbances. And they have lower rates of dementia. And that's in comparison when they look at the studies to people who have lower omega-3 fatty acid levels. So you can read here that it reduces body weight, it helps with blood pressure, it normalizes the lipid profiles like the LDL, the total cholesterol, and the triglycerides. It reduces fasting and after meal glucose insulin levels while improving insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity is the cause of type 2 diabetes. It reduces the total body inflammatory status, and this can be measured in things with elevated cytokines as well as C-reactive proteins. Folks, I can't make claims about any of this. I'm just reporting what the research says on omega-3. This isn't on our product. This is on omega-3. And I need to make that disclaimer for you. What happens if you have too little omega-3? Well, if people have lower blood levels of omega-3, they're likely to experience arthritis related to cartilage loss. In osteoarthritis, when a DHA EPA formula, fish oil, was added to chondroitin sulfate, which is what's in our Renovator product, people experience more complete relief of symptoms, such as stiffness and pain. Isn't that a common problem when people get old? They start complaining about being stiff. They go to get up from a chair and as they're pushing themselves up. I even notice it with my black lab as he turns 12 years old this next year. He makes that same noise that my mom and dad do. One study found that a significant increase in walking speed was noticed when they supplemented with fish oil versus those people who didn't. A lot of people will come back to me and they'll say, well, I'm a vegan or I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat anything that has a face. You know, I don't consume any products that comes from an animal. So I had to include this slide. Can you use flaxseed instead of fish oil? You sure can, but studies have shown that ALA supplements, alpha lipoic acid, like flax oil, are unable to raise the plasma DHA levels. Again, DHA for the brain. So unless you're supplementing with an algae-derived source of DHA, chances are if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you're going to be deficient on some of the omega-3s. I'm sorry to give you that news. So animal sources are your best source of it. Like I said, some of the omega-6, omega-3 ratios that I've seen in the literature shows it as high as 25 to 1. In 1985, not that many years ago, it was as high as 12 to 1. Think about that. So we've doubled the amount of omega-6s that we're taking in our diet. 20% of Americans get their calories from a single food source, which is soybean oil. 9% of calories from omega-6 fat. Isn't that crazy? The balance should be 4 to 1. A lot of research actually say that the ratio should be 1 to 1. I like eating wild game. And the reason I do is because the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is more closely to the 1 to 1 ratio. It balances each other out. For every milligram of omega-6, I get a milligram of omega-3. And that's because wild animals tend to eat a variety of food. They'll eat some bark, they'll eat some nuts, they'll eat some acorns, they'll eat some corn, they'll eat some grass. They wander around and they eat on various different plants that help them to balance out their fats. Then when we consume this animal, we have a balanced fat. But when you look at commercially raised animals like chickens and beef, they're fed diets that are high in corn that fatten up the animals so that when they bring it to market, that they can get a lot of money because the meat has more of a marbling in it. What about medications? Well, Big Pharma knows about the benefits of omega-3, and they know about the side effects of omega-6. When you take a look at the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, ibuprofen, aspirin, Celebrex, how do they work? Well, they reduce the formation of inflammatory compound derived from the omega-6 fatty acids. So they know about this. They know that the same effect could be achieved by simply limiting the dietary intake of omega-6 and increasing the omega-3. But of course, they don't want you to know that. The other day on the news, I saw that they were announcing that they had designed a new omega-3 synthetic molecule. To me, that just doesn't even make sense. Why would you design something that you could get from nature? How expensive can it be to go out and get fish and have people eat fish and consume omega-3s from fish? So in plain English, what does it mean? The more omega-3 fats you eat, the less omega-6 will be available for the tissues to produce inflammation. Omega-6 is pro-inflammatory, omega-3 is neutral. You want to reduce the omega-6, increase the omega-3. You want to use a combination of sources of your omega-3s. A healthy balance is the way to go. That's why I like the Sisel Omega Plus. It's a powerful mixture of all the different kinds of omega-3 fats. SupraOmega PLUS, in my opinion, is the most comprehensive omega fat on the market. It's got omega-3, it's got omega-6 in the balances that we need. Your body can't make essential fatty acids. SupraOmega PLUS doesn't just have omega-3 and omega-6, it's got omega-5. Omega-5 is a powerful antioxidant that supports the body's immune system. You've got omega-7, which helps regulate fat and blood sugar levels. And then you have omega-9 to increase metabolism, improve your attitude, and increase your mood. In our stressful world, who couldn't use that? Who couldn't use an attitude boost? This formulation is enhanced by infusing a premium quality, non-crystallized CoQ10, coenzyme Q10, which is essential for generating packets of fuel known as ATP. That's the fuel that energizes your cells. Again, I think this is the most comprehensive omega-3 fat on the market. Everybody should be taking it. Every single person should be taking this. So, folks, I can't stress enough, and I'm going to continue to stress it, that we need to get everyone taking the SupraOmega Plus product. There isn't anything else on the market like it, and you want to balance those out. Maybe those achy joints that you have is because you have too many omega-6s and you need to balance that out. Maybe by simply taking this product, you could find that. Include it in your monthly order. Include this with your monthly order. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I look forward to seeing you on the next webinar.
Okay, so that was Dr. Curt's talk on the SupraOmega. Now, the title of this video was actually talking about cardiovascular health and other things as well. So I've got a quick testimonial on another one of the products that Sisel have got called Eternity, and how it can help your heart health. Well, not how it can help your heart health, because I can't make any therapeutic claims, but let's have a listen to Bill's testimonial on his experience with the Sisel Eternity and what it did for him.
With us, what we have here truly is a phenomenon. We have a company that's delivering the world's most scientifically advanced products out of the most advanced nutritional manufacturing facility of its kind on the planet. And these are products that deliver results that are above and beyond anything we've ever seen before from nutrition. Yeah. I know that myself because I battled heart disease for 32 years, trying every nutritional product under the sun without any positive benefits as verified by medical blood tests. And it wasn't until I got on Sisel's Eternity back in 2009, and I was literally knocking on the door, knocking on death's door. I had undergone 4 angioplasties, had 6 stents in my heart, and these procedures were getting closer and closer over the 12 years prior to Sisel. And guess what? All of those stent implants came to a dead stop the moment I got on Eternity. After just 6 weeks on it, the doctors were so amazed with how low my cholesterol and triglycerides level had dropped. They had dropped to the lowest levels in my, at that time, 32-year recorded medical history. I was 58 back then.
Wow.
And
how much were you taking?
I was only taking, the original Eternity was only a 500 milliliter bottle, and the dose was a ½ ounce. Now the new product is 3/4 of an ounce out of a 750 milliliter bottle. So I was only taking the standard dose at that time, a ½ ounce. But the important thing is that you have to take that like the newer product. You take it in one tiny sip at a time, swizzle the sip around in your mouth and swallow. Then take the next one. Take it in slowly. I call it sip, swizzle, and swallow. And with the 3/4 ounce serving, which I recommend you get a calibrated shot glass to accurately measure it out, it's also 3 capfuls. A capful on the bottle is 1/4 ounce on all the Triangle products. So you do 3 capfuls into a small juice glass, you've got 3/4 ounce. Take that amount down as very tiny sips. I counted. You can get 21 sips if you take small enough sips. So each morning, I do my 21 gun salute with my 21 tiny sips, sip, swizzle, and swallow one at a time. And that gets maximum absorption into, you're going to get about 80% of it right through the tissues of your mouth. You swallow the 20% that doesn't get absorbed, and you just do this until you finish it, and then fill it up with water at least 2 to 3 times and drink it down. You want 2 to 3 water chasers. And that's going to get this product into your body. And you're going to get the most potent and effective resveratrol product on the market that's going to deliver high potency resveratrol in a form that can be utilized by the cells of the body and on a cellular level because of the nanosizing and solution. And the net result is that working with my doctors, I was able to work out a plan. They didn't believe my first blood test result. They thought the results were too good to be true. They couldn't believe that all of a sudden, over 32 years of medical blood tests, all of a sudden I come up with the lowest cholesterol and triglycerides, lower than what they could get on the medication. Of course, none of the other nutritional products I tried over those 32 years did anything to lower those levels. But here I am showing up at the lowest levels they've ever seen in 32 years. And they said, well, let's see what it looks like when you come back 4 months later for your next blood test. When I repeated the same results with the cholesterol and triglycerides lower than they've ever seen in my 32-year history at that time, I was able to get them to work out a plan, a 12-month plan to get gradually weaned off the medication and to make what they characterize in their own words as a spectacular recovery from heart disease. I'm now off all the medication And for a guy who after 6 stents couldn't walk more than 2 miles an hour and who was knocking at death's door and didn't think I would live to see my sons graduate from college at age 58, now at age 67, I can run 5 to 10 miles an hour on a treadmill with no problem. I'm in a great state of health. And thanks to Sisel, I was able to just recently attend my oldest son's wedding just this past month. I lived to see something I never thought I'd live to see, thanks to Tom Maurer and Sisel International. That's how tremendous of a result I've had with this company.
Okay, so that is the end of the presentation for tonight. What I'd really appreciate is if you could fill in the feedback form for me and let me know how I can best serve you. So if you can just put in and who referred you, so how you first found out about this video tonight, whether it was from the Facebook group or whether you saw it on Facebook or YouTube or someone actually sent you the video. And then tick down what you would like more information on and how I can best help you. So and I can link you into our fantastic support line to be able to assist you to get where you wanting to do. So I hope you found that helpful, and I will catch you in the next video. Bless you. Thanks for joining me.